Hello, I'm Mike. This is Will. We're the Tabletop Donkeys.
Hello.
And we're going to bring you the third mission in our Shadowspear narrative campaign today. If you don't want spoilers as to who won the previous mission, you can go and watch it now. There'll be a link in the description or a little pop-up in the top right. So now that you've gone and watched our previous mission, All Round Defence, you'll see that I won, so we go on to Dark Ritual. So this will be the narrative end to our campaign, but we will go back and play the other three missions. And because I won the previous mission, I start this mission with an extra D6 command points to spend on stratagems. And like last time, we're just going to stick to the default stratagems and the extra stratagems given by the mission, because the wording is the same as the previous missions. So we'll go through the army overviews, and I'll explain the scenario once we see the battlefield. So here's our Space Marine army for this mission. We're actually seeing all of the Space Marine contents for the Shadowspear box. So we have the Captain in Phobos armour, the Lieutenant in Phobos armour, and for the first time a Librarian in Phobos armour, a unit of 10 infiltrators, a unit of 3 suppressors, and a unit of 3 eliminators. And these are actually proper squads this time, they don't operate as individuals anymore. So my Warlord will be the Captain in Phobos armour, and I'm going to give him the Marksman's Honours again, so he gets an extra +1 damage with his bolt carbine, and also his bolt pistol technically. We're also going to take a relic, and I'm going to give the Librarian Artificer armour, so he has a 2+ armour save and a 5+ invulnerable save. Obviously as a Psyker, and his psychic powers are going to be Soul Sight and Tenebrous Curse. And like last time, I'm just going to use the successor tactic that gives me the Raven Guard chapter tactics. So if I'm more than 12 inches away from an enemy model, my models count as being in cover, and if they're already in cover, the enemy has -1 to hit them. And here we have our Chaos Army for this mission. Like the Space Marines, this is all the Chaos Space Marine stuff from the Shadowspear box. So we have the Master of Possessions, the Venom Crawler, 2 Greater Possessed, a unit of 2 Obliterators, and a unit of 10 Chaos Marines. So we've got the Champion with a chain axe and a power pistol. There's an auto cannon, a plasma gun, 3 bolt guns, and 3 with chainswords.
And my Warlord is the Master of Possessions. Well, actually, it has to be. The mission specifies it has to be. His Warlord trait will be Indomitable, which is one from the Black Legion Warlord trait from the Vigilus Ablaze book, which means he takes half damage from all attacks rounding up, which will be useful given how the scenario works, which we'll see in a minute. And he gets psychic powers as well. We're going to take Cursed Earth and Infernal Power, which both improve demon units nearby. And then for his relic, I'm going to give him the Mark of Tzeentch, because he can take that, and I'm going to give him the Eye of Tzeentch relic, which it means he adds +1 to his psychic test when attempting to manifest Smite. It's not great, but there actually aren't that many relics that are that useful for a Master of Possessions, so I'm going to go with that one.
So here we have our battlefield set up. So we've got more Mechanicus terrain and various ruins. And you can see we've already finished deploying, but essentially this half of the battlefield is the Defenders half, or the Chaos Space Marine half, and then in the centre, the dead centre, is a objective marker, which is actually the centre of this crater. This represents the ritual site for the Dark Ritual the Chaos Marines are trying to conduct. And in a 6-inch circle around the Dark Ritual, marked by these pylons, is the Circle of Power. And anything within this circle, or any Chaos units wholly within this circle, have a 4+ invulnerable save, and no other invulnerable saves can be taken in there. So that might be relevant if I get any characters in there. And this crater we're just using to mark the ritual site. It doesn't offer any cover or anything, but any other terrain operates as you might expect. So these give you cover if you're wholly within them. Anything else gives you cover if you're obscured by it. So the Chaos, or the Defender's Warlord, has to deploy within 3 inches of the ritual site. So yeah, he's just within 3 of the centre there. And then all of his units can set up anywhere within the table half. So we have the Chaos Space Marines in a line along here, the Greater Possessed up front, the Venom Crawler in the Ritual Zone, and the 2 Obliterators are in reserve. And then over here, there's an 18-inch no man's land, and then the attackers have an 18-inch deployment zone on the right-hand side. But obviously, a lot of my units have concealed positions, so I actually have effectively an extra 9 inches of deployment. So I've deployed the Eliminators down here on top of this junk pile. Next to them are the Suppressors. And then there's the 3 characters in there, the Lieutenant, the Captain, and the Librarian, who are all surrounded by the Infiltrators, just in case the Obliterators turn up behind us. So how the mission actually works is each turn the Defender rolls a d3 and they gain that many ritual points. Then at the end of the game, if the Defender has 20 or more ritual points, they win. Any other result is a victory for the attacker. There's random game length, so at the end of battle round 5 we roll a dice. On 3+, it goes to game 6, and then at the end of that, on 4+, it goes to game 7. After round 7 it ends, or if one side gets wiped out, the game ends. At the start of the defender's psychic phase is when he rolls his d3 for how many ritual points he gains, but if his warlord is within 3 inches of the objective marker, he rolls a d6 for the number of ritual points instead. And there's also a stratagem where if there's a psyker within 3 inches, you can add an extra d3, but you can only use that stratagem once per round. And there's also a stratagem for the attackers, where if one of their characters is within 3 inches of the crater, they can take a d6 off it, and once again that's only once per round. There's also another few stratagems that are included in this mission. One of them involves summoning demons, but we don't have any summonable demons, so that's irrelevant for the defender. And there's one for the attacker, where if I get a psyker within 18 inches of the centre of the ritual site, I spend a command point to roll a d6, and on a 1 to 3, the range of the Circle of Dark Power, so that's the invulnerable save aura, is reduced to 3-inch range rather than 6 inches, and on a 4+, it's disabled until my next psychic phase. Before we roll off to see who goes first, normally we both start with 3 command points, but since I won the previous mission, I get to roll a d6, and that's how many extra command points I get. It's an extra 2, so I have 5. And now we roll off to see who gets the first turn, but the defender gets to add 1 to this roll. So I got a 6.
Oh, I've only got a 3.
So I get to choose who goes first, but I'm going to go first. So we'll head into Space Marines turn 1. So on my movement phase, the infiltrator squad has moved up around the server hall or in these barrels and crates. Some of them have gone up on top of the pipes and the other crates, so they'll end up lagging behind, but it's to make space for the captain to fit in here and the librarian to fit over there. And the lieutenant has come round this way. And the eliminators and the suppressors are going to hold position, so it'll be on to the psychic phase. So in my psychic phase, the librarian can just about see this Greater Possessed in front, or closest to the camera. So I will first off try to manifest Smite. I need a 5, get it with a 7, so the Master Possession isn't in range to deny, so the Greater Possessed takes d3 mortal wounds, 2, so it's down to 3. Then the Librarian will try to manifest Shrouding on the Suppressor squad, needing a 6. Ooh, I'll re-roll that Perils, or one of those dice at least, spending a command point. I only got a 5, so I don't manifest the power, but the Librarian doesn't take any mortal wounds. So in my shooting phase, I'm going to start with the captain. He is going to shoot at the wounded Greater Possessed. So he has 1 shot hitting on a 2. Wounds on a 5, rerolling 1s because of the lieutenant. It does.
AP -2, so it's a 5+ either way. Nope, so it dies.
Yeah, Greater Possessed takes 4 damage and is killed. So next I'm going to do the Eliminators. They're all going to fire Mortis rounds at the other Greater Possessed. So the Eliminators are technically closer to the Chaos Marines, and Greater Possessed are a character, but Eliminators can shoot characters. So we've got 3 shots, hitting on 3s, rolling 1s. That's 3 hits. Wounding on 4s, re-rolling 1s. Oh, triple 3. Next I'll do the Suppressors. So the 2 regular men can just about make out the Greater Possessed. So the 2 regular Suppressors are going to shoot at the Greater Possessed. The Sergeant cannot see him, so he's going to shoot at the Venom Crawler. So the Greater Possessed, we've got 4 shots, hitting on 3s, rolling 1s. Rolling the 1 into a hit. And wounding on 3s, because strength 7. Re-rolling 1s because of the Lieutenant. 3 wounds, I'll take that.
These are at -3 again because of the Devastator Doctrine, so 5+ invulnerable saves. Oh, I haven't made any of them, so it dies as well.
So the other Greater Possessed takes 6 damage and dies. And then the Sergeant shooting at the Venom Crawler, 2 shots hitting on 3s, rolling 1s. Gets 1 hit. Wounds on a 4. Wait, wounds. 4+ invulnerable save from the Circle of Power.
Yes.
So the Venom Crawler's fine. Next I'll do the Lieutenant. He'll shoot at the Chaos Marines because they're the only target in range. 1 shot hitting on a 3, rolling 1s. He hits. Wounds on a 4. So yeah, he rolls 1s, but I rolled a 2, so that's not a wound. Finally, the Infiltrator squad will shoot at the Chaos Marine squad. And they're all in range, so you've got 10 shots, hitting on 3s, re-rolling 1s. So there's 2 automatic wounds in there. And re-rolling the 2 1s into another hit. Normal hits, wounding on 4s, re-rolling 1s. It's another 3 wounds, so 5 wounds in total.
These I get my 3+ though, so... Oh, I made them all.
Yeah, you're fine. I'm not going to declare any charges, so that'll be the end of my turn. On to Chaos Marines, turn 1.
In my movement phase, the Chaos Space Marines have moved like this, so the guys with pistols who were over here have moved up closer. This bolt gun's staying still because he's within, we can't get in the rapid fire range, but these 2 bolt guns here have moved within rapid fire range, so they don't have the cover thing if they're shooting at the infiltrators. And the plasma gun's moved up a bit because he doesn't have that, and the autocannon is staying still. Actually just adjusting that slightly because there wasn't incoherency, but now we are. And then at the end of my movement phase, my obliterators have come in down here. They are just about outside of 12 of the infiltrators because they can't get closer, and they are within 12 of the eliminators, which means they won't have -1 to hit them.
So at the start of the Chaos Psychic phase, you normally roll a d3 for the number of ritual points you get, but since the Master of Possessions is within 3 inches of the centre of the ritual site, he rolls a d6 instead.
That's a 1. I can spend a command point to re-roll it.
Yep.
Because I need more victory points than that. 4, right, well that's alright. And then I'm going to spend another command point for Sorcerer's Ritual, which means I add an extra d3 because I have a Psyker within 3 inches of the objective point, so another d3 for an extra 2. So
up to 6. So we're up to 6 ritual points. If the Chaos Marines have at least 20 by the end of the game, they win.
And now we're going to manifest some Psychic powers. We'll start with Cursed Earth, which is our warp chart of 7. That's a 9. So that means that, well, basically the Venom Crawler will have +1 to its invulnerable save while it stays within 6 inches of the Psyker.
Yep.
And now we'll try Infernal Power as well, which is manifest on a 6. Oh, Perils.
Well, are you going to spend your command point?
I'm going to have to, because he needs to not die. So I have to spend the last command point. Reroll one of these dice.
Into a Paris. So he takes a d3 mortal wounds.
1. Well, at least it's only 1.
But he's down to 3. So it is narrative. This is technically narrative play, so that's why you can use command reroll twice in the same phase.
Yeah, just in case you're wondering.
But now it's on to the shooting phase.
Yep. We'll start shooting with the obliterators. They're going to shoot at the eliminators, who are in cover, but I'm within 12 inches, so I don't have -1 to hit. We're going to do the strength of the weapon first. That's going to be 8. The AP is -2, and the damage will be 1. We've got 12 shots hitting on 3s. 8 hits.
Yeah.
Wounding on 2s, because I have strength 8. That's 7.
3 plus armour saves, because I get +2 for being in cover from my camera cloak, but AP -2. Made all but 1, so an eliminator will take a wound. So the eliminator at the back will take a wound.
Next up, we'll shoot the Venom Crawler at them. It's just about in range, so it's going to shoot its Excruciator cannons.
At the eliminators?
Yeah. 2d3 shots. 3. Hitting on 5s, because it's a long way away.
Yeah.
So, but 2 hits. Wounding on 2s, strength 8. Well, that's 1 wound.
So AP -2, so 3 plus armour save, which I made.
And then we've got the Chaos Space Marines left to shoot. So the autocannon will go into the eliminators, and everything else is going to go into the, which is only 3 bolt guns and a plasma gun, will go into the infiltrators.
So it's the 2 bolt guns in front, and there's a bolt gun back there, didn't move, and then a plasma gun shot.
We'll do the autocannon first at the eliminators. 2 shots hitting on 4s because of the range. 1 hit, wounding on a 3. Yep.
So it's only AP -1, so a 2 plus armour save, which I made.
Then we've got 4 bolt gun shots at the eliminators that are within rapid fire range. Well, they won't get cover, so that's 3 hits.
Yep.
Wounding on 4s. 2.
3 plus armour saves for the infiltrators. Made both.
Then we've got 1 bolt gun that didn't move, but is more than 12 inches away, so he's hitting on 4s. 2 shots, that's 1 hit. Wounding on a 4. Nope. And a plasma gun, single shot, not supercharging, hitting on a 3, sorry. So yeah, sorry, slight confusion there. They don't get -1 to hit because they're not in cover, but the plasma gun missed and the bolt gun rolled a 4 and a 1, so that would be the end of my turn. I haven't got anything else to do.
So yeah, it will be on to Space Marines turn 2. So my turn has been some movements. The infiltrator squad has moved up. The captain and the librarian and the lieutenant are all sort of slotting in amongst them. The suppressors and the eliminators are going to hold position though, but it'll be on to the psychic phase. So first off, I'll try to manifest Smite on the librarian. So he needs a 5, gets it with an 8, so not in range to deny, so that will hit the Chaos Marine unit. They'll take D3 mortal wounds. 2.
I'm going to take away the 2 bolt gun people in front.
Yep, that makes sense. Then the librarian will try to manifest Shrouding on the suppressor squad. He needs a 6, doesn't get hit with a 4, I'm not going to bother re-rolling it. So on to the shooting phase. I'll start with the infiltrators. They're going to shoot at the Chaos Marines. The 7 in front are in rapid fire range, or these 3 at the back are not. So we've got 17 shots hitting on 3s, re-rolling 1s. That's 7 2s in there, and a couple of 1s. 9 hits, that's pretty poor. Wounding on 4s, re-rolling 1s, for 6 wounds.
3 plus armor save, losing another 1. We're going to lose this guy who's furthest away, I think.
We'll do the suppressors next. They're going to shoot at the obliterators. 6 shots hitting on 3s, not re-rolling 1s because the captain is too far away. We've got 4 hits, wounding on 3s, re-rolling 1s because the lieutenant is close enough. 3 wounds.
We've got 5 plus armor or invulnerable, doesn't matter. Made 1, but that's 4 damage, so an obliterator goes down. this way.
I'll do the captain next. He's going to shoot at the remaining obliterator just in case he manages to kill it. He has one shot hitting on a 2, rolling 1s. Ooh. He hits, wounds on a 5. He does not. So I'll do the eliminators next. They're going to fire mortis rounds at the obliterator. We've got 3 shots, hitting on 3s, not re-rolling 1s because of no captain. 2 hits, wounding on 4s. 2 wounds, so that's a mortal wound.
It is, and these are AP -3 as well, thanks to the Devastator Doctrine. So 5+ again. Well, if you roll 2 1s for your D3 damages, it isn't dead.
So 2d3 damage.
Yes.
He takes 4 wounds, plus an extra mortal wound, so the other obliterator dies. Finally, the lieutenant is going to shoot at the Chaos Marines, because they're the only target in range. 1 shot hitting on a 3, rolling 1s. He hits. Wounds on a 4, rolling 1s. He wounds.
So 3+, yes.
So in the charge phase, the Infiltrator squad will charge the Chaos Marine squad.
Well, with Overwatch, we'll start with the autocannon, because it's 2 damage, so hitting on 6s. Nope. Plasma gun is in rapid fire range, but I'm not going to supercharge, so 6s. No. And then we've got 2 bolt pistols and 1 bolt gun that didn't move, so that's another 4 shots on 6s. 1 hit. Wounds on a 4. Nope.
And my charge distance is a 6. I think I need something impressive, like an 8 or a 9, so I'm not going to bother re-rolling that. No fight phase, and then in the morale phase, the Chaos Marines only lost 3, but they're leadership 9, so can't possibly fail. And we'll go on to Chaos Marines turn 2.
In my movement, the Chaos Marines have moved up, generally that way, and the Venom Crawler is also scuttled over here. And then I've moved the Master Possessions forward just a little bit, still not in the danger range of being shot by Eliminators next turn, but just because at some point he's probably going to have to get involved and start smiting, so I'm just moving on a little bit, and then it'll be on to the Psychic phase. Now I have to roll for the number of ritual points I get. So D6 because the Warlord's still there. 1.
Right, so up to 7.
I'm not going to manifest anything else. Well, I'm not going to manifest any psychic powers because they both improve the Venom Crawler, but
it's not close enough.
Not close enough. So
and Smite is out of range.
Yep. So on to my shooting phase. We're going to start off shooting the Venom Crawler at the suppressors. So we've got 2d3 shots again. 4. Hitting on 4s because that's its ballistic skill. 2 hits. Wounding on 2s because of strength 8. 2 wounds at -2.
So yeah, the Ducan being on cover, so we've got 4+ armor saves. Failed both. I'll re-roll 1, because they're D3 damage apiece, and I don't want to lose too many suppressors. Nope, we'll roll that into 1, so 2 wounds go through.
Okay, well the first D3 damage for 3, and the second only for 1, so that's 1.5.
Yep, so I'll take away this suppressor. So there, that suppressor, other regular suppressor has taken a wound.
Next we've got the Chaos Marines to shoot. I'm going to shoot the pistols and a bolt gun and crack grenade into the infiltrators. The plasma gun and the autocannon are going to go into the suppressors. We'll do the plasma gun first. 1 shot hitting on a 3. It did. It wounds on a 3. I'm not supercharging, by the way. Nope. And then the autocannon, 2 shots on 3s. Wounding on 3. Yep, that's a wound.
AP -1, but I've got cover because I'm more than 12 inches away, so a 3+ armor save, which I failed. I will spend a command point to try and save that suppressor. Oh, I made it.
We'll start with a crack grenade from one of the guys at the front. Hit, wounds on a 3. Nope. We'll do all the bolt weapons first, so we've got 2 bolt pistols and a bolt gun in rapid fire range, so 4 shots on 3s, 3 hits. Wounding on 4s, 2.
So 3+ armor save because we're within 12 inches. Made 1, failed 1, so an infiltrator will take a wound. Put it on this guy at the back here. And then there's a plasma pistol still to go.
Which I won't supercharge. It hit, it was on a 3. Nope, 1 again.
Oh, so on to the charge phase.
Yeah. Chaos Space Marines are going to charge the infiltrators.
Yep, we're going to overwatch with our bolt carbines. We've got 20 shots because we're all within rapid fire range. Hitting on 6s, rerolling 1s. So there's rerolling that 1. Ew, no hits so far. And the other 10 gets 4 automatic wounds.
Yeah, 3+ armor save. That's a 1 dead. I'm going to take this bolt gun.
Yep, and their charge distance isn't going to be very long.
Yeah,
That's definitely enough.
They'll finish their charge move like this. There's not really any way of arranging them such that the Venom Crawler can get in without either bringing the Librarian into contact or not having anybody to actually fight. Or say bringing him within range to heroically intervene, I mean. And it's going to be like a 9-inch charge anyway, so I don't think it's worth the hassle. And then they pile in like that, and then the autocannon will not be able to fight, but everybody else will. We'll do the normal attacks first, so we've got 11 of these because we're charged, and chainsaws and things on 3s. That is a lot of 1s and 2s.
And there's a death to the False Emperor now.
Because gets an extra hit, so that's only 6 hits. Wounding on 4s. 3.
3 plus armor saves. Oh, made 2 failed ones, so that wounded infiltrator will die.
Then the champion has 3 attacks because he charged with his chain axe, hitting on 3s. Will hit, wounding on 3s.
Oh.
Okay.
So the Chaos Marines have consolidated, the infiltrators get to fight, so we get to pile in. So he probably can't get in range, but everyone else can. So we got 25 attacks from the infiltrators, hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s. Reroll those 4 1s into 4 hits, that's 13 hits so far. The next 12 attacks, and a lot of 1s to reroll again. So that'll be 20 hits in total. So I'll do 2 batches of 10 for wounds, so we're wounding on 4s, rerolling 1s because of the lieutenant. 6 so far. Rerolling those 1s. And another 6, so that's 12 wounds in total.
Then 3 plus armor saves. Failed 1, 2, 3, 4, leaving 2.
And then the infiltrators will consolidate. But in the morale phase, the Chaos Marines have to make a morale test because they took 5 casualties this turn.
But their leadership 9, so on a 3, they're alright.
Yeah. So that'll be the end of Chaos turn 2. On to Space Marines turn 3. So in my movement phase, the 3 characters are just going to move around the swirling melee, and the eliminators and the suppressors are going to stay where they are. So in the psychic phase, the librarian will try to manifest Smite, and it will hit the Chaos Marines. Got it with a 6, the Master Possessions isn't in range to deny, causing 2 mortal wounds. So the last 2 Chaos Marines are killed. Then he will attempt to manifest Tenebrous Assault on the Venom Crawler. This has a warp charge value of 6, gets hit with a 6. So the Venom Crawler has Tenebrous Curse, so it takes a mortal wound, bringing it down to 9 wounds, and its movement, its characteristic is halved, and it also halves advance and charge rolls. So we actually forgot the Helix Adept, but William is going to allow me to go back and try it. So on a 5+, the Helix Adept can revive that deceased infiltrator. Nope. So I'm not going to reroll that, so the Helix Adept can't do anything for this round of this turn. So now in the shooting phase, I'll start with the infiltrators, minus the Helix Adept, because he failed to revive someone. They're going to shoot at the Venom Crawler, because they aren't going to be in range of the Master Possessions, if I do manage to kill that. 16 shots, hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s. 5 automatic wounds, and reroll the 1s. To another hit. We've got 7 regular hits, which wound on 5s, rerolling 1s. So that's another 5 wounds, so that's 10 wounds in total.
3 plus armor saves, it takes 4.
So it's down to 5 wounds. So I'll do the Lieutenant next. He's going to shoot at the Venom Crawler as well, because it's the only thing in range. 1 shot hitting on 3 rolling 1s, he hits. Wounding on a 5 rolling 1s. He wounds.
3 plus armor save, yep.
The Librarian will fire his bolt pistol at the Venom Crawler, because it is in range technically. He hits. Wounding on a 5, he does.
3 plus, yep.
That's fine. I'll do the Eliminators next. They're going to fire Mortis rounds at the Venom Crawler because they aren't in range of the Master Possessions. So we've got 3 shots hitting on 3s. We're not near any characters. That's 3 hits. Wounding on 5s. So that's 1, but a mortal wound as well.
Are you on a 5 plus invulnerable now? Oh, we did.
It's fine, but it takes a mortal wound.
4.
Suppressors will shoot at the Venom Crawler. They have 4 shots hitting on 3s. 3 hits. Wounding on 4s. 1 wound.
5 plus. I didn't.
Oh. And finally, the Captain will shoot at the Venom Crawler as well. Hitting on 2. He hits. Wounding on a 5. Rerolling 1s. He does not wound. So the Infiltrators in the charge phase will declare a charge on the Venom Crawler.
2d3 shots in Overwatch for 5. Hitting on 6s. Nothing.
It's pretty risky this, but we need to get more movement. 9 is probably enough. So the Infiltrators will finish their charge like that. I'm not going to declare any more charges, so they'll pile in. So we've got 25 attacks again, hitting on 3s. First batch of 13. 11 hits. And then a batch of 12. Gets another 9 hits. So that's 22 hits.
Yes, those of you paying attention will have noticed that 9 plus 11 does not equal 22, it equals 20. All I can say is that when the camera gets switched on, you just make these kind of mistakes sometimes that you wouldn't normally. But if you're worried that, oh, this is going to ruin the rest of the game, then as you'll see in a moment, the number of wounds this actually results in inflicting is lower than average for 20 hits, let alone 22, so it works out okay.
First batch of 11 wounding on 5s. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Second batch wounding on 5s. Also 4, so 8 wounds in total.
3 plus armor saves. Failed 2.
So it's down to 2 wounds. So now the Venom Crawler gets to fight back.
So in its bracket, it's down to strength, strength 4 base. 2 attacks with its eviscerating claws, hitting on 4s. 1 hit. It wounds on a 3 because it's on strength 6, as I said. It did. It's minus 3 AP.
So 6 plus armor save. Oh no,
3 damage.
3 damage. So an infiltrator will die. Take your half back.
And then 2 additional attacks with its soul flare tendrils, hitting on 4s. Nothing.
But it did kill someone, so it regains a wound.
Yes.
And then we'll do it now, but at the start of the Chaos turn, it actually goes up to 4. That'll be the end of my turn. No morale phase for the no morale test for the infiltrators, so we'll be on to Chaos turn 3.
My movement's simple. He's just moved back to where he was before, just losing a couple of inches he moved before. Straight onto the psychic phase, where I gained another d6 victory. Ritual points up 2, twice as good as before.
Up to 9.
And then he will try and manifest Smite, which will hit the infiltrators. Unless I roll a perils, so well, it will go off.
Unless he dies.
Unless he dies. Well, yeah, we're going to do that
So
first.
he takes D3 mortal wounds.
1. Yeah. I mean, he actually gets +1 to his Smite thanks to his relics. So that was technically a 13.
Yeah, but
it does
D6 mortal wounds.
2. Still terrible.
So an infiltrator dies.
That's it, though. Nothing else of use. So straight to the fight phase because there's no shooting. The Venom Crawler couldn't fall back, incidentally.
Yeah, you can't quite fit through that gap.
It now has, it's back into its middle bracket, so it now has 3 attacks with its eviscerating claws on 4s. 1 hit, wounding on a 3, because it's strength 7 now. Yeah, minus 3.
6 plus. Nope, so another infiltrator dies. It doesn't really matter, take that guy off.
And 2 extra attacks with its tendrils. Oh, they both miss again.
So that's the end of Chaos turn 3. On to Space Marines turn 4. So the first thing I'm going to do is switch to the Tactical Doctrine, because the Venom Crawler has a 3 plus armor save base, and anything I'm going to shoot at it, all my heavy weapons are AP minus 2 at least, and the Master of Possession has a 4 plus invulnerable save while he's in the zone anyway. And then in my movement, the 3 characters have come up, the Infiltrators have fallen back, and then the Eliminators and the Suppressors are going to stand where they are, and the Helix Adept might as well have a go at reviving someone. Nope. Slight adjustment, the measured deny range, and the Librarian has to move back a little bit just to be outside of deny range of the Master of Possessions. So moving on to the Psychic phase, the Librarian will attempt to manifest Smite, and it will hit the Venom Crawler. Needs a 5, gets it with a 7, no denial, D3 mortal wounds, 1. And then he will try to manifest Tenebrous Curse on it as well, just for the extra mortal wound, needing a 6, doesn't get it with a 5. Now onto the shooting phase. I'll do the important one first. The Captain is going to shoot at the Master of Possessions. He has 1 shot hitting on a 3. He hits, hitting on a 2, sorry, but he still hit. Wounding on a 3 now because of the Tactical Doctrine is active, and I get +1 to wound against characters for being Raven Guard. And rerolling 1s because of the Lieutenant. Rerolling that 1. Oh, phew, it's very important for the Chaos side. So next up, the Eliminators will fire Mortis rounds at the Venom Crawler, because it's the only target in range. 3 shots, hitting on 3s, 2 hits, wounding on 5s. There's 1 wound.
5 plus. Nope.
D3 damage. 1 as well. No, I won't reroll that. So it's down to 2. Finally, the Suppressors will shoot. No, I'll do the Lieutenant next. He'll shoot at the Venom Crawler, just in case. He hits with a 3. Wounds on a 5, rolling 1s, he wounds. Oh, he's got 2 shots. Sorry, yes, he's within 12 now. I've been so used to him being out of range. He has another shot, which misses. 4 plus.
4 plus because the tax reduction's on. Just.
Then the Librarian will throw a crack grenade at it. 1 shot hitting on a 3. Rolling 1s because of the Captain. Nope. So finally, the Suppressors will shoot at the Venom Crawler. 4 shots hitting on 3s. 3 hits. Wounding on 4s because it's up to 7. 1 wound.
5 plus. Oh, I made it.
So in the charge phase, the Librarian will declare a charge on the Venom Crawler.
Okay, I'll get Overwatch on it. For 6 shots.
Cool.
Hitting on 6s, that's 2. Currently strength 6. So winning on 3s. 2 wounds at AP minus 2.
He's in cover with a camo cloak, so 3 plus. Made 1, failed 1. How much damage is it?
D3.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Takes 3 damage.
So Librarian's down to 2. And then his charge distance is a 6. So we're going to go all in. The Captain will declare a charge as well. With a 7 he's definitely in. He'll go there. And then the Lieutenant will declare a charge as well. with a 6. That might not be enough. So I will spend a command point to reroll that 2 into a 1, so Lieutenant's definitely not in. So in the fight phase, I'll start with the Librarian. 4 attacks hitting on 3s, you're rolling 1s. That's not a time to roll 2s. Right, it's 2 hits. Wounding on 5s, you're rolling 1s. There is a wound.
5 plus invulnerable? Nope.
D3 damage. 1. So I'll spend my last command point to reroll that into a lower one. So it takes 1, it's down to 1 more, down to 1 wound. And now the captain has to have a go, so he'll go around over here. We just remembered the Librarian gets an extra attack because he charged, which hit. Wounding on 5s, it didn't. Now the captain has 7 attacks. Hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s. So he got 7 hits. Wounding on 5s. Not rerolling 1s because of the lieutenant's too far away, so that's 1 wound.
3 plus. No.
He dies. But on a 5+ it explodes.
Yes, it does.
Oh.
It does D3 mortal wounds to everything in 6, which is going to be everyone except the lieutenant, I reckon. So we'll start with the Librarian because he's only on 2 wounds. Yeah, he does.
So the Librarian will die.
Yep, and the captain takes 2 as well, and the infiltrators also take 2.
So the Librarian will die. Infiltrator will die.
Yeah.
So the Lieutenant is actually within 6 inches.
Yeah, the thing was in the way, so his charge was no good, but he also takes 2 wounds.
So he's down to 4. Captain's down to 4 wounds, and the Lieutenant's down to 3. But we killed the Venom Crawler at last.
Yeah.
Oh yes, the captain can consolidate, so he'll go around there. But that'll be it. On to Chaos turn 4.
He's going to stay where he is because getting close, he can't fight them and also be within range of the thing. So I'm also going to stay as far away as possible.
Yeah.
In the psychic phase, we're going to start by rolling the ritual amount. And I get 6.
Yeah, this is it.
Up to 50.
I'm going to have to kill him next turn, effectively. Up to 15 ritual points.
And then he will try and manifest smite. Which will hit the infiltrators, obviously.
Yep.
I get +1 to this, so I need a 4. Or an 11 will do d6. That'll do nicely.
Yeah, and he doesn't get a peril because it's not a natural 12.
Nope.
So d6 mortal wounds to the infiltrators.
6.
Blimey, now it's
Now
come
what am
good.
I?
So the 3 regular infiltrators will die.
And then he may as well shoot his bolt pistol at them. Oh, I missed.
Right.
But that's the end of the turn.
Yeah, so the infiltrators are leadership 8, so they technically have to make a morale test, which they pass. But it'll be on to Space Marines turn 5. So in my movement phase, the infiltrators, the captain, and the lieutenant have all moved up close to the master possessions. The eliminators, have come down from this box to try and get back into the game. Suppressors are going to stay where they are because they can see and shoot at the master possessions. So it'll be straight onto the shooting phase because my psycho died. I'll start with the infiltrators. One will throw a crack grenade and the other will fire his bolt carbine. So crack grenade, hits, and wounds.
4+ either way. No.
D3 damage. 1, he's down to 1 wound.
What?
And the carbine gets 2 hits. And a wound.
3+.
Oh. Well, there we go.
Bah.
So the Master of Possessions dies, and since the Chaos have been wiped out, the game ends with only 15 victory points. That'll be a Space Marine victory. So we'll recap all that for you now. So that was the third mission of our narrative campaign for the Shadowspear box set. And it's actually the end of the narrative. How did you think that went?
I think it was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. Well, I mean, actually, to be honest, the end was a slight anticlimax.
Yeah.
But given how my first couple of turns went, I thought I was just going to have to concede. I mean, not because I couldn't technically win, but because I thought I was just going to end up with like the Master of Possessions left and nothing else after about 2 turns.
And if you hadn't rolled a 6 for your ritual points in turn 4, it probably wouldn't have been worth carrying on.
Yeah, and indeed, and I think also if you'd killed the Master of Possessions earlier, then I wouldn't have actually physically been able to roll enough dice.
Since you get a D3 per turn, and if you roll a 3 every turn for all 7 turns, you could potentially win. If he dies in like turn 2, it's probably not worth it. I would say also just the fact that it's relying on random rolls. Even with your character, you could just roll 1. You just roll a 1 on a D6. You can't win.
If I hadn't suddenly started rolling quite well in the last 2 turns, then what I was going to say in this recap that really I think this scenario is a bit rubbish, to be honest, because the only realistic way you have of winning is by having your warlord near the middle all the time. Apart from my last ditch, I could possibly win this. It wasn't that much fun for me, to be perfectly honest, because I just sort of spent most of the game thinking, well, whatever I do, it's not going to make a great very little difference.
A lot of your units weren't terribly effective.
No, I mean, the Chaos Marines weren't effective. I didn't expect them to be that effective, but they were particularly ineffective. I think they did 2 wounds.
It was maybe turn 3 before you killed any of my models.
And actually starting off right at the beginning as well, I did make a pretty big error in deploying my Greater Possessed too far forward. I was convinced they weren't characters, so I thought you could just shoot them anyway. I had +1 to go +1 to the roll to go first.
Yeah.
And if they had gone first, they would have been safely hidden where you couldn't see them. So, and the other thing, of course, is that actually, even though they're characters, you still had, it would only been the suppressors. You wouldn't have been able to shoot them anyway.
Yeah, and the snipers could still shoot them.
Oh, actually, I suppose Smite as well wouldn't have been closer for Smite. So it did cost me those models, but that was compounded by the fact my Obliterators turned up and did basically nothing.
Yeah, you're pretty unlucky with his shooting early on as well, I think.
Eliminators is really hard to shift if they're in cover, unfortunately, and then they just got blown away because I had the choice of deploying them in cover, but then Raven Guard Chapter Tactics means that if I'm not within 12 inches, then it becomes even harder to kill stuff.
Yeah.
So, and then rolling a Perils and then re-rolling it into a 1, not rolling very well for my ritual points, and having to spend all my command points to...
Yeah, in the first turn just to get some headway.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you got another Perils as well, so when you've done half the work for me in killing your monster.
Yeah, it's true. I did only 2 wounds myself, fortunately. But I mean, he did get the D6 mortal wounds on Smite twice, so he did do 8 mortal wounds worth of Smite in 2 turns, which isn't bad. But by that point, it was a little bit too late. And
I mean, your Venom Crawler was a really effective speed bump because I just kept rolling poorly for like D3 damage, and
we also forgot the Librarian had Artificer Armor in the last turn. But you rolled one.
It should have been a 2+ armor save, but I rolled a 1 anyway.
Yeah, so we did catch that.
Well, I will say that I think I was much too slow early on. I think I actually should have deployed on the other side of the board because all the terrain where I did deploy ended up slowing me down. I should have moved the Eliminators up earlier so they could shoot the Master Possessions to try and at least force you away from the Ritual Circle. But also, if you hadn't taken something like Indomitable, there is always the danger that the Captain will get in range and just one-shot you.
That's why I took it, yeah.
Especially with the +1 to hit and wound from the Raven Guard when they have the Tactical Doctrine active against characters. With the new Space Marine rules, I don't think this scenario really is balanced as it's written, because you have one character who's absolutely vital. I have several models that can shoot at characters. I mean, we were worried that I was actually going to kill him in turn 1. At which point, there was no point carrying on for you.
With concealed positions, you could have deployed close enough to start shooting him in turn 1.
Yeah.
You decided not to because...
I wasn't guaranteed to go first. And going first probably helped a lot.
And being charged by Greater Possessed does hurt. Yeah, and of course, when this was released... I mean, yes, the historical forces do include the Captain and the Eliminators who can all shoot characters anyway, but the Eliminators were only strength 4, the Captain's gun was only 2 damage.
Yeah.
With slightly bigger armies, this game could be a bit less random in the sense that the defender has a little bit more security in making in keeping his warlord protected. The other thing, of course, for this scenario that we didn't dive into at all was demon summoning.
You even get a stratagem to assist you with that.
The stratagem, we didn't actually explain the stratagem at the beginning, but basically it means when you summon a unit of demons, they can be deployed anywhere on the board more than 9 inches from enemy models. While in hindsight, it would have been very useful, but I guess there are 2 reasons we didn't do any summoning of demons. Well, not only would I have had to paint a ton of demons, but...
the Shadowspear doesn't actually come with any demons you can summon.
Yeah, I mean, if you're only going with the forces in the box, then you don't have any demons anyway. But that's the other thing, especially because he has a psychic power that lets him do it again.
Yeah.
So I could be summoning 2 units of demons a turn, and my army would quickly become quite big. And this being narrative play, I wouldn't have had to pay any reinforcement points.
So our plan is to play the other scenarios we haven't played, the other 3 scenarios. The first one that will go out will still use the historical forces, but the other 2 will expand the armies a little bit, and then we'll probably play this one again at the end.
Yeah, we might actually try this one as well with added demons, and then I think additional characters would actually be helpful for me because...
or at least an additional psychers, so you can make more use out of the stratagem that gives you...
and more command points for that matter, as you'll be able to actually use the stratagems more.
So, I don't think there's too much more to say about this mission. So if you like this content, please leave a like and subscribe, and leave any comments if you've played this mission before, what you think we did wrong, what you would have done differently. Leave a comment. We've been the Temple Donkeys, and we'll see you in the next one.
Goodbye.